then this is Elvis's black box, which was basically like his purse.
Really? What's in here?
For decades, the upstairs of Graceland has remained off-limits to the public, fueling endless rumors about what secrets it may hold. Now, Elvis Presley's granddaughter, Keough, has taken a bold step, finally revealing what's truly upstairs at Graceland. And it's not at all what fans were expecting. Join us as we uncover the surprising truth behind this long-held mystery. Riley's first-hand revelations, memories of growing up at Graceland. Keough has shared her personal memories of living in Graceland, giving us a special glimpse into the famous home of Elvis Presley. While visitors flocked to tour the mansion, Riley experienced a unique and more personal side of life there as the King of Rock and Roll's granddaughter. Her recollections are not flashy or exciting, but rather peaceful, heartwarming, and occasionally quirky. They reflect a strong bond with her family and a deep attachment to the legacy of the Presleys. Many people probably thought Graceland would be a great place for a child to grow up, but Riley revealed that it was very magical and different in unexpected ways. She shared that she and her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, sometimes stayed overnight in the house, specifically in Elvis's private quarters upstairs. Riley mentioned that this did not happen often, just a few times, and she wasn't sure if she was allowed to talk about it. She remembered these moments with a sense of quietness, as if they were a secret she held dear. Riley talked about how she and Lisa Marie would hide upstairs at Graceland on mornings when there were public tours. The security staff would bring them breakfast, and they had to wait quietly until the tours were finished. They weren't allowed to be seen, so they stayed upstairs while visitors toured the house below. Riley explained that Graceland wasn't a place where she could freely roam during the day. Instead, she had to stay hidden like a secret guest in her family's home. During a TV interview, she talked about how she and her mom would feel stuck upstairs for hours during daily tours at a mansion. They couldn't come down until the tours were over in the afternoon. Riley described it as feeling like a weird hotel, not scary, just strange. She acknowledged that the mansion was special to many people, but also where she had to wait quietly while strangers walked through her grandfather's rooms. Despite having to hide during tours, she did not seem bitter or upset. Her memories were filled with curiosity and some humor, viewing it as just part of her unique childhood. She described the experience as trying to balance personal family memories with public history, showing a child's perspective on the situation. Riley shared a touching moment about her visits to Elvis's private bedroom, which is not accessible to the public. She mentioned feeling his presence and energy in the room, describing it as peaceful and spiritual. Riley noticed books on the shelves about spirituality and self-help, some of which were underlined with marks from Elvis himself. These small details made a lasting impression on her. Lisa Marie, Riley's mother, also spent a lot of time in that room. Riley explained how her mother would go through the books, almost as if she was trying to understand what Elvis was thinking or feeling at the time. In those moments, there was a sweet sadness, of a daughter reminiscing about her father and of a granddaughter silently witnessing that reflection. She talks about her mother's time in Graceland. Riley emphasized that Graceland wasn't just a tourist attraction with velvet ropes and guides. To her family, it was still a place of memories, unanswered questions, and emotions. Riley's way of recalling Graceland is unlike the flashy image that many people have in mind. There were no wild parties, no rock and roll drama, just peaceful mornings, relaxing afternoons spent upstairs, and a strong sense of family. She did not paint it as a sorrowful place, nor did she make it seem mysterious or overly theatrical. Instead, she shared something even more special: honesty. The stories she told made people realize that everyday, relatable moments were happening in Graceland. A famous house, like a mother and daughter having breakfast together or a little girl hearing footsteps. Even a quiet bedroom holding the presence of someone who has passed away. These simple details brought Riley's memories to life in a vivid and realistic way. However, the memories Riley has of this mansion were far from what the public imagined it to be. A life above the velvet ropes. When people think of Graceland, they picture velvet ropes, gold records, and lots of visitors hoping to see Elvis Presley's life. However, for Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, the mansion was more than just a tourist spot. Riley talks about her experience. It was a place filled with warmth, family traditions, and happiness. Riley has fond memories of her family's private rituals at Graceland. She and her mother, Lisa Marie Presley, sometimes stayed in the upstairs area of the house, which was off-limits to guests. While public tours were happening, they stayed upstairs and did not come downstairs. They had comforting routines during these times. The security staff would deliver breakfast to them while they were hidden upstairs. Riley recalled being given a warm meal of sausage and biscuits, a basic Southern dish that made her feel comfortable. She found the gesture of being cared for and served food while the house was busy with strangers to be meaningful. Despite having to stay upstairs and not being able to move around freely during the day, these peaceful breakfasts made her feel safe and loved. Food was a significant part of Riley's experience at Graceland. Even after Elvis died, the kitchen remained busy cooking traditional Southern meals for the family. Chefs would prepare meals for them when they visited, which made them feel at home. The meals, such as fried catfish, hush puppies, and banana pudding, brought the family together in a meaningful way, unrelated to fame. These meals were made with love and served in the same home where Elvis once ate. Riley thought that the memories she associated with the upstairs area of the house made it feel different compared to the rest of the house. Downstairs was where visitors went to see historical displays and take pictures, but the upstairs felt private and untouched by the public eye. It wasn't arranged like a museum. Instead, it felt like someone still lived there. Riley found the space to be warm, cozy, and filled with emotion. The furniture, scent, and books all contributed to the sense that time had paused in a gentle manner. For Riley as a child, the upstairs was a place where love seemed to linger, where family still seemed present in quiet corners, and where the past felt close by. The special bond Riley felt with the upstairs area in her home was more than just liking the physical space. It was about the people who were important to her, like her mother and the grandfather she had never met, but always felt a connection to. Being upstairs wasn't just about having privacy, it also helped her heal and remember important moments in her life. Each small experience, like eating biscuits, laughing with her mother, or looking at her grandfather's books, added depth to her understanding of her past. Over time, the upstairs area of the house became more than just a private space. It symbolized the legacy of the Presley family. It connected Elvis to Lisa Marie, and now to Riley. Spending time in that peaceful space made Riley feel connected to something greater than herself. She felt like she was not just living in a house, but also living out her family's history. Each room, every daily habit, and every scent and noise played a role in carrying on her family's story in her life. As Riley got older, she started sharing some of her memories with others. During an interview with Oprah, she talked about her experience visiting the Graceland mansion and shared her thoughts and emotions as they explored the house together. They talk about the items in the house. She wasn't trying to brag, but instead she wanted to show her sincerity. Riley discussed her childhood, the significance of the house to her, and how her time there influenced who she is today. Later, Riley worked on a memoir titled From Here to the Great Unknown. She shared stories about her experiences at Graceland, particularly focusing on the less-known upstairs area. These were moments that were important to her, even though they were not widely known or discussed. Riley included them in her memoir because they held significance to her and the legacy she wanted to pass on to others. In a world that often glamorizes celebrity lifestyles, Riley Keough's experiences at Graceland were quiet and intimate. She did not indulge in extravagant parties or loud events, but instead found joy in simple moments like sharing meals with her mother and taking quiet walks through the rooms where her grandfather once lived. These seemingly ordinary details were what made her feel secure, close to her family, and cherished. But why was Riley the one to inherit the building, and what was she so intent on protecting? Keep watching to find out more. Riley Keough's mission to protect the Presley legacy. In 2023, Riley Keough inherited Graceland, the home of her grandfather, Elvis Presley. This was a significant responsibility for her as the house held sentimental value to her family. It wasn't just about owning a house, but about the duty of maintaining a treasured symbol of her family heritage and a historic landmark for countless fans. Receiving the inheritance meant Riley had a big responsibility. The estate was worth a lot of money, but she cared more about preserving the meaning of Graceland to her family and the public. She had to find a way to welcome fans while also maintaining the privacy and emotional connection her family had to the upstairs part of the mansion. The upstairs of Graceland, where Elvis spent his private moments, has been off-limits to visitors for a long time. Lisa Marie later shared special moments there with Riley. The family considers this area to be a place of emotion and comfort, away from the bustling crowds. As the heir, Riley is responsible for keeping this space safe and private. even as the rest of Graceland is open to thousands of guests every year. Taking control of Graceland presented many difficult challenges both legally and personally. Riley had to deal with a very public disagreement involving her grandmother, Priscilla Presley. There were concerns about legal paperwork and who had power over the estate. Throughout it all, Riley remained steadfast in the face of adversity. She also had to safeguard her identity when someone tried to falsely claim ownership of Graceland. These obstacles arose while her family was still mourning the loss of Lisa Marie, which added to the emotional weight of assuming her new responsibilities. Despite the struggles, Riley stayed focused on what was most important to her. She realized that Graceland was not just a historic building, it was a part of her identity. She grew up wandering through its halls, spending time in its rooms and sharing quiet meals with her mother. While the public may view Graceland as a place of worship, Riley understood its true essence. She made it clear that her goal was not only to preserve the physical structure, but to safeguard the memories and stories that dwelled within its walls. Riley strongly believes in the distinction between public and private life. While many see Graceland as a tribute to a rock and roll icon with gold records and flashy outfits, Riley sees it as a place filled with memories of family meals, bedtime stories, and personal moments. She noticed how visitors walked through the house, seeing it as a static moment frozen in time, but she understood that the reality was more gentle and relatable. The upstairs of Graceland has items preserved just as Elvis left them, maintaining a real-life atmosphere of love. It's not a show stage, but an authentic space where love once thrived. The silent floor, where Elvis's story truly ended. On August 16, 1977, the sun rose in Memphis as usual. The sky was peaceful over Graceland, and the warm summer morning seemed normal. However, something unique was happening inside the famous mansion that would have a lasting impact on music history. This day marked a significant event that would keep one part of Graceland hidden from the public eye forever. In his favorite home, Elvis Presley, the legendary king of rock and roll, started the last day of his life. Despite being surrounded by familiar walls, family photos, his music, and loved ones, he felt a strange heaviness. Instead of being on stage, performing, and smiling at fans, he was upstairs in his personal suite, a place only a select few had visited. At around 1:30 in the afternoon, Elvis was discovered unconscious on the bathroom floor by his fiancée, Ginger Alden. The upstairs of Graceland, usually a peaceful retreat, suddenly became a chaotic and heartbreaking scene. Ginger wasted no time in calling for help. Paramedics rushed to the scene and transported Elvis to Baptist Memorial Hospital, doing their best to revive him. Despite their efforts, at 3:30 p.m., Elvis was declared dead. They talk about Elvis Presley's death. He was just 42 years old. Initially, the public was informed that Elvis had passed away due to a heart attack. He talks about Elvis' cause of death. Dr. Jerry Francisco announced that his heart had stopped beating normally with no signs of injury. Questions started to emerge quickly, leading to rumors spreading. These rumors eventually revealed shocking truths that surprised fans worldwide. When doctors did a toxicology test, they discovered something unexpected. Elvis had more than 40 different substances in his body. Some of these were powerful medications like painkillers, sedatives, and other substances, some in dangerous levels. These were not illegal substances bought on the street, but medicines prescribed by doctors. However, the combination of substances caused worry because it did not fit with the Elvis that the public knew, someone charming, energetic, and confident while performing on stage. The reality was tough. Elvis had been dealing with significant pain, physically and emotionally. He faced many health problems such as high blood pressure, an enlarged colon, liver issues, and mild diabetes. His body had endured a lot. Before his passing, he had been hospitalized multiple times. People like his doctor, Dr. George Nicopolis, known as Dr. Nick, had prescribed him different medications to manage his pain. He talks about Dr. Nicopolis. Dr. Nick thought Elvis was not addicted, just suffering. However, the combination of substances and his health issues had a negative impact on his heart. The toxicology report was kept secret for 2 years after Elvis Presley's death, leading to rumors and speculation. When the report was eventually released, it revealed that the medication meant to help Elvis may have worsened his condition. Despite this revelation, it shed light on the physical and emotional pain Elvis was enduring. This helped people understand that behind his fame and music, Elvis was a man who was exhausted and suffering. His stepbrother, David E. Stanley, who was with Elvis during his last years, later talked about his emotions. He had witnessed Elvis facing challenges, but always thought he would recover as he had in the past. However, this time was different. Elvis did not bounce back. Graceland, the house of Elvis Presley, transformed into more than just a residence. It became a representation of grief. Fans gathered inside the gates where they left flowers, lit candles, and shed tears. She talks about fans' tribute to Elvis. The once lively home now remained quiet and still. Graceland now hosts many visitors each year. Guests can tour rooms where Elvis Presley spent time, like the living room with a white sofa, the jungle room where he recorded music, and the meditation garden where he is buried with his family. Lisa Marie Presley was also buried there. Visitors are allowed to explore almost every part of the house, but the second floor has always been off-limits and kept private. The top floor of Graceland is closed off and inaccessible to tours. Cameras are not permitted in that area. Even the biggest fans cannot see it. It has been kept exactly the same as it was when Elvis died. His bedroom, the bathroom where he was found, and Lisa Marie's childhood room have been preserved in their original state. Despite Graceland opening for public tours in 1982, the second floor was never made part of the tour. The Presley family wanted to keep that part of his life private. The decision was made for a specific reason. The upstairs area was more than just a space. It represented the true essence of Elvis, away from the public and cameras. This is where he would relax by reading books, watching TV, listening to gospel music, spending time with his daughter, and finding peace. It was the only place in his life where he could truly feel at ease. Even now, the upper floor is kept as a peaceful homage. There are no velvet ropes or plaques, just a sense of privacy. After Lisa Marie Presley died in January 2022, the upstairs part of the house where she used to stay was still off-limits. She had referred to it as a cozy and comforting space filled with memories. When she passed away at the age of 54 due to a bowel blockage, it brought back memories of her father's health issues. This added more sorrow to the Presley family and deepened the sadness at Graceland. Physicians think that Elvis's ongoing digestive issues, such as severe constipation, may have contributed to his heart problems. A PBS report in 2018 even hinted that his gut troubles could have played a role in his death. This shows that even someone as famous as Elvis dealt with common health issues. Elvis Presley spent his last hours peacefully at home, not in a hospital or on stage. There were no bright lights or cheering fans, just the calm walls of his room, the quiet sound of the air in Graceland, and the memories of his life. The upper floor of Graceland will probably always be kept closed. It's not because there are secrets hidden there, but because it contains precious memories to be safeguarded. This area of the house was exclusively for Elvis and his dearest family and friends. It was where he enjoyed life as a regular person, not just a famous celebrity. Year after year, visitors continue to come to this place. They touch the gates, leave letters, and say prayers. Some follow the same paths as a famous person once did. Others sit silently by the garden, reflecting on the impact of the man's influential voice on music. Although they may not have access to the upstairs area, they grasp its significance. Behind those closed doors lies more than just history. It is where the heart of Graceland is. However, the discoveries did not end there. The soft upstairs interior of Graceland also revealed a different side of Elvis than we all remembered. Graceland's hidden world, the secrets upstairs. Riley Keough, who is Lisa Marie Presley's daughter, was doing something very emotional. She was helping with her mother's memoir called From Here to the Great Unknown. She talks about the book. Lisa Marie always wanted her life story to be shared, but people were surprised by how much personal information about her and her father was included in the book. Riley shared some new information about Elvis Presley's private bedroom at Graceland. Fans were always curious about why this part of the house was kept off limits for so long. Riley explained that Elvis's upstairs quarters were left untouched since his death, frozen in time. Books were still piled by his bed, including religious texts like Bibles from different traditions, showing his spiritual quest. There was also a small office connected to the room with books on various religions. The layout of the upstairs area was described in detail. Elvis's bedroom, bathroom, and walk-in closet were all at the front of the house. His personal office, a second bathroom used mostly by his girlfriends, and a final bedroom were at the back of the house. Lisa Marie Presley's bedroom was in the last room, which faced a large deck and was described by her as the safest place she had ever known. As an adult, Lisa would always carry the key to that upstairs space with her, and whenever she returned, she felt a great sense of calm behind those closed doors. Elvis's room and Lisa's childhood bedroom have not changed since August 1977. Elvis's room is particularly memorable with a bold and dramatic color scheme. Linda Thompson, one of Elvis's longtime partners, decorated the room with red, black, and gold, following Elvis's taste. The bed is large and black, with red walls and gold accents. The carpet is deep red and thick, making it feel like your feet are being swallowed as you walk. The overall look is extreme, flashy, and unique to Elvis. Linda mentioned that it made him happy, even though it may not appeal to everyone's taste. Fans had differing opinions about the red, heavy style of the 1970s interior at Graceland. Some thought it was exciting and full of personality, while others felt it was overwhelming. When Graceland opened to the public in 1982, Priscilla Presley decided to change the decor on the first floor. She restored it to the way it looked when she lived there with Elvis in the 1960s, featuring white carpet and soft blue drapes. This new style was simpler and more elegant, reflecting her personal taste. Before Graceland was made accessible to the public, there was a nearly disastrous event that almost prevented it from ever becoming a reality. An intense and sorrowful incident almost altered the course of history. Priscilla used to depend on a man named Morgan Maxfield to help her turn Graceland into a famous landmark. Morgan, a real estate developer from Kansas City, had big plans and important connections. Priscilla mentioned in an interview that she first met Morgan in Nashville and sought his help to make Graceland open to the public. Since she did not have any experience in this area, she did not know where to start. Morgan offered to assist her in the process, and they even had a romantic relationship for a while. Those close to Priscilla at that time confirmed the relationship and said that they remained friends even after they broke up. One of Priscilla's ex-business partners, named Olivia, who used to own a boutique with her in the 1970s, mentioned that Morgan once took both of them on his private plane for a double date. Olivia remembered that although Priscilla and Morgan's romance did not work out, Priscilla still relied on him for important matters, particularly those related to Graceland. Priscilla supposedly collaborated with Morgan in private, keeping his involvement a secret from others. In 1981, a tragic event occurred when Morgan's personal aircraft experienced a crash. Morgan was flying the plane himself when one of the engines malfunctioned. Fortunately, he was able to divert the plane away from a residential area and into an empty space, preventing numerous casualties on the ground. Unfortunately, all 4 individuals on board, including Morgan, lost their lives. Many people were surprised when they found out that Priscilla was invited to take a flight on that plane. Initially, she accepted the invitation but decided to cancel at the last moment. She later revealed that if she had gone on that flight, she believed she would have died at the age of 36. During that period, there was a lot of pressure on her to sell Graceland due to financial struggles. Despite this, Priscilla remained steadfast in her decision not to sell, even stating to those close to her that she would never give in, regardless of the circumstances. What else did her mother reveal before her death? And how does this change everything? A legacy saved and shared. After Morgan passed away, Priscilla was at a turning point. She had lost her main supporter and was running low on funds. Some thought that the idea of opening Graceland to visitors was over with Morgan's death. However, fate had different ideas. Morgan had a colleague named Jack Soden. Priscilla requested his assistance to finish the project. They managed to secure a $500,000 investment, which was a significant amount back then, and worked non-stop for months. Just 10 months following the devastating plane crash, Graceland welcomed visitors for the first time. Since then, Graceland has been a popular destination for Elvis fans worldwide. By 2024, over 20 million people had visited the site. In 2006, it was designated a National Historic Landmark, cementing its significance in American history. Lisa Marie Presley played a key role in keeping the home and its memories alive. She had been working on writing her memoir silently. There were talks about a potential book deal as far back as 2019. In 2022, Lisa started recording numerous stories for her book. She wanted to be honest about her childhood relationships, father, grief, and challenges. Unfortunately, she died before finishing the memoir. After Lisa died, her daughter Riley took over. Riley got the audio recordings her mother made before she passed away. She listened to them in bed, hearing her mom talk about happy and sad times. Lisa Marie talked about her childhood at Graceland, where she used to play with golf carts. She mentioned the special bond she had with her father and the quiet moments they spent together. She described the heart-wrenching memory of finding her father's body after he passed away. Riley talks about her mother experience. Her voice showed emotion as she shared this story. Lisa also discussed her time in Los Angeles with her mother, recalling how she struggled in school and always seemed to get into trouble. She opened up about her close relationship with her first husband, Keough, as well as her complicated marriage to Michael Jackson. She talks about her mother's relationships. Lisa shared how their shared emotional pain brought them together. She also talked about her experiences as a mother, the challenges of addiction, and the constant presence of grief in her life. Riley believed it was her duty to make the book come alive. She thought it was her mother's last wish to share these stories truthfully. Riley had already been involved in keeping the Presley family's legacy alive. In 2023, she organized a Christmas special in honor of her grandfather, which was shown on NBC. She was now the only person in charge of Graceland and getting ready for her mother's memoir to be published. The book, which is published by Random House, is 272 pages. Each page is written in Lisa Marie's words, offering readers a closer look at her life and sharing new insights into the private world of Elvis Presley. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.